Hello and welcome to the August edition of Cycling Weekly's Tech in a Month, and we're going to get straight into the product, and I'll happily start this time around. And I've got Bont Shoes, and they're the updated version of the Riots. So traditionally with Bont, they've added a plus here or there, or called them sprints. So these are Bont Riot Plus shoes. Now, they look a bit garish, this colour, lime and black, but they come in a number of funky colours, and I quite like them actually, quite stand-out-ish.
Very Euro.
Very Euro, yes, indeed.
Hard to match to a bike, perhaps.
A BMC road machine springs to mind with this colour?
Yeah.
So maybe not too hard, but you might have to splash the cash. And these are the entry-level shoe for Bont. They made waves when they brought these out because they were sort of the stiffest entry-level shoe money could buy. And these are a nylon carbon sole with all of Bont's technology, so it's heat moldable. Personally, I'm a big Bont fan, but I've never heat molded the shoes. I found straight in, they work, good for my feet. But this shoe was first launched in 2014, and it originally came with just a standard ratchet and a Velcro strap. But now they've updated it to include the BOA dial, which I think we all know and love, to be honest, and it's a good addition. They don't give the same stiffness as the new Vapor Sprints, but they give enough for you to happily race in them, I think. But you have that added comfort. So I think more and more people are actually going to get on with these shoes. So if you haven't been a Bont fan previously, these might be the ones to go for. At £150 or £149.99, you're getting a really top-end shoe, slightly lower down and that sort of mid price point really. Size-wise, I mean, they come in 40 to 49 European, but they don't do any half sizes, or certainly not coming into the UK in half sizes. So that is my shout for this month's product.
I've brought something.
Well, there's nothing on the table. I'm
What
pretty,
have you brought?
I'm pretty worried. What have you got, mate?
I'm going to have to go and grab it, it's over here. But, bear with me one sec.
What are you doing for dinner?
Don't know, might get takeaway.
Oh, here he is, back.
Here we go. Check this out. So,
Now that just looks like a Cannondale Supersix to me.
yeah, so this, I'll just hold it up a second so you can see it, is a Cannondale Supersix Evo HiMod black ink frame, right? Which is their best frame they do. It's the top of the range, super mega light frame. This is the fork. It's actually not a standard one, because what we've done is sent the bike to Fat Creations. They're specialists in custom painting bikes, right? Now, the black ink is the lightest, best frame set that Cannondale does. And normally, for the frame and fork in a 56, you're looking at about 1,250 grams, okay? Which is mega light.
Yeah.
However, Fat Creations have stripped the paint off, and in doing so, they've saved around over 200 grams on the frame and more on the fork as well. Because paint, believe it or not, adds a lot.
Yeah.
And then what they've done is they've replaced the paint with just a really light clear coat lacquer just over the carbon weave, which has added about 35 grams back on. But and just a really thin Cannondale silver logo. But Fat Creations described this as a labour of love. And it took them hours and hours and hours of like meticulously sanding it down to get the paint off. And it looks absolutely stunning. Like you can see the detail of all the carbon weave and all the individual pieces that have gone into this hand-built frame. And so, you want to know the weight, right?
Of course.
That's what I've been waiting for.
So the weight now for frame and fork is just 940 grams,
Wow.
which is ridiculous. I mean, that is really light.
well.
Yeah.
What surprised me here is actually the finish is very, very nice. It doesn't look like a bare minimum, race machine that performance at its center. You could build this up with standard group set and various other things, and it will just look quite bling sitting there on its own, I think. But this is part of a bigger thing for you, isn't it? So what's the plan with this bike?
So the plan with this frame is we're going to try and build a mega light hill climb bike. So this is the start of the project. So we're going to go crazy on it. We're going to go probably single ring and just try and build a really light hill climb bike. But this is the platform it's going to be based around.
But aside from the lightweight paint jobs, I mean, just custom paint in general is a huge thing now, isn't it? Yeah. There's more and more people buying bikes.
You want to personalise your bike a bit more, make it a bit more bespoke to you, and it can look amazing as well.
Definitely. It's becoming more and more popular. It's a trend, and you know, if you're thinking of doing it, then I would suggest, like absolutely. Look, there's several people throughout the country who are specialists in bike frames who will do it, and you know, you can make your bike potentially lighter or just make it look fantastic and have whatever you want. And why wouldn't you? So, you know, go for it.
Nice one, Oliver. Thanks for that. I was hoping that maybe Rupert would have something that maybe you'd put on your hill climb bike.
Yeah, maybe I have.
Is it light enough?
Oh, I don't know. Nothing's ever light enough for Oliver Bridgewood. But I have brought the new Lezyne Super GPS, but the enhanced version, which is this is kind of their top-end model now. So it has loads of features, so you can have all of your data. So it's really taken the fight to Garmin and Wahoo here, so you can have all the type of techie numbers you want to have, power, cadence, blah, everything you could use to train with. It's quite compact, which I like as well, and it's not a touch screen, so some people might breathe a sigh of relief there. So it still uses buttons.
Well, we all know the issues with touchscreens on cycle computers that are open to the elements. It just
is a bit of a nightmare, and until that gets perfected, I think, to be honest, buttons are probably the best way to go. So in terms of what it can measure, it can have 5 pages of data screens, so you could have everything that you could possibly want jammed in here to help you get the most out of your ride. And it can do turn-by-turn navigation as well. Fair to say it's undercutting the market by quite a lot at that price
so what's
point.
Wahoo, £200 for the Bolt?
Yeah, so £120.
And Garmin's another 60 quid on top of that for 520.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's an impressive price point to be coming in at the market with.
So the GPS, is it within the head unit or is it via your phone?
No, so the GPS is within this. Okay. So you need to connect it to your phone to upload it to it, but once that's done, the designs say you don't need to have your phone connected anymore. It will be able to do it all from the GPS in this.
Good. I think that moves us on to
Bike of the month.
Bike of the month. It's one of our favourite things to do each month, really. Talk about bling bikes that we've loved riding. But this is the Kenyan Aero CF SLX disc. The guys at Canyon UK kindly sent this along to me and said, we've set it up for you, Simon. Have a go. Tell us what you think. This is on top of the bike you tested back around Christmas time?
Yeah, so this is the SRAM ETAP top of the range mega version, and I tested the sort of Ultegra spec version back in January.
Yes.
In December.
Yeah, but the frame is exactly the same.
Yeah, same frame.
So that was coming out at 7.76 kilograms.
It was, which is about 600 grams more than
the caliper version.
Than the brake, the normal brake version. With regards to frame, Canyon claim that there's about a 70 gram increase from the non-disc frame to the disc frame. But
I've enjoyed my time so far with the Canyon Aero disc. It's just a nice bike to ride, I think. I mean, smaller frames, my size, tend to be a bit harsher than larger frames, I guess, especially 56 upwards. But I haven't felt beaten up. It glides along nicely on the majority of roads. I mean, it feels quick. I think that's the main point about it. I think you jump on and you go, actually, this is a pretty rapid bike. And of course, the deep section Reynolds wheels help. Aero bar, obviously, in the frame is Canyon's Aeroad bike. I've had a good time, and I think it deserves a spot on our monthly Bike of the Month. Surprisingly, it tips just under £6,000 for this bike. So if you want to go fast, then look no further than the Canyon Aero disc. I think that about concludes us for this month. Tune in next time for lots more tech. I had this dream the other night. Did I tell you about it?
About the beef?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Like, I was having a fight, and I like, when I got punched, I like bit like the inside of my cheek, and then it felt like there was a huge amount of flesh like hanging off the inside, and I was just like, oh, I've got to get this out. But like, whilst I was trying to like rip the flesh out of my mouth, like, I think I ate like beef or something, so I was pulling beef out of my mouth as well, and then I eventually got the flesh bit out, which was huge, and it was like on the table in like Tupperware or something, just like sitting there, and I was just. It didn't really faze me at the time, but I woke up going, what the
Did you have a sore mouth when you woke up?
No, I didn't at all.